Hello, dear fiends of the den. It is me, that Rose Noir, your underground icon, back on the mic, back on the Dark Entertainment Network to discuss more dark news and conspiracy theories. So let's dive in. There's been a lot of contention, of course, around the demolition of the East Wing White House, and there are many theories going around that the $40 billion, 20 billion of which have already gone to Argentina, is to ensure the place of this new Reich of people that need to escape once the shit hits the fan, and it will. Now, it's been reported in the Daily News that Melania Trump was against the demolition of the East Wing. I mean, I agree with that. I am against the demolition of the East Wing too, but you guys had some things to say, so let's check it out. So here is the short about Melania Trump in the Daily News saying that she privately had concerns about demolishing the East Wing. I mean, honestly, though, what normal person wouldn't? So, some of your comments here, I love your content. Please share. Thank you very much. I have another comment here. Does she even exist? All presidents in the past always had their wives with them. I think she's ashamed of that puppet. And I think you might be onto something. And then we've got, she probably shouldn't have sided with the party that thinks women should be seen and not heard. Fair enough. Fair enough. And then someone wrote, "This is BS you are spreading. He didn't take down the East Wing. It was just the covered entrance. I don't know where that news came from because that's not what I saw or heard or experienced." And then someone else wrote back, "The complete East Wing is gone. What are you on about?" And another viewer wrote, "Nothing is left on the East Wing, not one brick. Don't comment unless you know what you're talking about, which you obviously don't." And then another question, or it's like, yeah, kind of a question here. "Hi there, just one question. Is it Jim or Wendy that doesn't know how to use the internet to see if the thing they're going to post online for the rest of the time is factually true or not?" I don't have an answer to that, but I do thank you for these comments because your comments make me very happy. Same video on TikTok, and your comments are F her. What was so historic about it? Wasn't it built in like the 1960s? I'm sure they will keep all the artifacts, paintings, etc. So what's left behind the walls that's so historic? I did answer her. There is a short about it. I can't even believe someone asked what is so historic about the White House. Very strange question. And someone else wrote, "Who cares? F her." And someone else wrote, "Like we all care what a mail order bride says." So I have not found anybody in my community here that sides with Melania Trump saying that the East Wing should not have been demolished. Whether you agree that the East Wing should have been demolished or not, no one agrees with Melania Trump's version of it. Now, in my last episode, I addressed another set of comments, mainly about Barack Obama's addition of the basketball hoop to the already existing tennis court. So I will link that episode here so you can see what that cost. You know, I like to keep it short and sweet here in the den. So let's look at the complete list of the renovations and builds throughout the White House's history since 1792. So from 1792 to 1800 was the original construction of what was then called the President's House by James Hoban, the architect, and George Washington himself. By 1814, it needed some renovations because it was burned by the British during the War of 1812, and this is when Dolly Madison saved George Washington's portrait. From 1815 to 1817, the President's House, now known as the White House, was rebuilt on the original foundations by the original architect, James Hoban, and President James Monroe. In 1902, the White House needed major renovations, and they created the West Wing. This was with Charles McKim and Theodore Roosevelt. In 1927, the third floor was added, and the attic was converted to a living space by Calvin Coolidge. In 1948 to 1952, the entire interior was regutted and rebuilt due to the collapse risk, and this was by Harry Truman. 1961 to 1962, restoration of historic furnishings and decor by Henry DuPont and Jacqueline Kennedy. In 1993, there were a lot of technological upgrades and security enhancements for President Bill Clinton, and this was the digital age. We were out of the analog age by this point. From 2009 to 2016, sustainability and accessibility improvements were made by Barack Obama. In 2020, the Rose Garden was renovated by Melania Trump, and in 2025, the East Wing was demolished for a ballroom expansion by Donald Trump. A majority of these renovations were done with congressional approval. Several did not need congressional approval, and we will get to that. And if you want to hear the quick history of the haunted White House, check out my shorts or my TikToks at That Rose Noir. And thank you so much for joining me in the Demonetized Den. If you want to know what you could do about that, check out this next clip. Don't forget, because I bring you the truth, the den has been demonetized, and it's a signal from the shadows. So if you'd like to support the dark entertainment and Rose Noir's investigations, you can do so by tipping the detective. The paypal.me link is in the bio. Again, thank you so much for joining me in the den. If you've got something to say, send me an email at welcometothedenpodcast@gmail.com.